Hey yo, salute to the people. It's the social forecast. Today is Sunday, August 4th. A little bit after 5 p.m. A few hours ago, I got notifications, alerts on my phone. And I was fed up to find out that in less than 24 hours, there was a second mass shooting where more unnecessarily lost lives and unnecessarily injured innocent people had to suffer the inaction of our government to implement and regulate more strict gun laws. And you know, as I started to once again get angry at our government, at the system in place, I had to check myself. And I had to check myself because I realized something. Oh, I hope you all did something today to further your goals and to help you realize your dreams. But the shit I'm gonna say in this blog, the shit I'm gonna say in this video, some of the realest shit I've ever said on this platform. Yes, I'm being deliberately vulgar in this video, in this vlog, because I'm ashamed that every single one of us who calls ourselves citizens, who calls ourselves patriots, because every single one of us, this is on us. This blood is on our hands. Why do I say that? Because for all the people who tweet and post and create and share memes about what we don't like about whatever president is in office, about whatever issues are going on, the same way that we can argue with police officers who pull us over on traffic stops or who stops us on the street to ask us where we're going, where we're coming from, because we fit the description and we're shouting our civil liberties, we're shouting our constitutional rights. And I got no issue with that. I have no issue with people fighting for their rights. But you know what I have an issue with? Is the fact that there is nothing free in this world. There's nothing free in life. And even though in this country, even though it's not fully free, even though it's not a full democracy, we at least are fortunate enough to not live in a country where the media is censored, where the internet is censored, where you can't speak out openly against your government without fear of reprisal. What's so shaming is the fact that in a country of over 300 million people, all seem to know their rights when it comes to something they want to fight for, whether it be pro-life, whether it be fighting against capital punishment, whether it be fighting against racism and gender biases and equal pay and the right to get married no matter what your sexual orientation is. We can fight for all those things, but when innocent lives are lost, people don't stand up to do anything. These individuals, who may very well be mentally unstable, have declared war on civilians. They've declared war on United States citizens. And the government stands by and does nothing. And the big part of the problem is because we don't force the government to do nothing. This is a country of over 300 million people, and we can't get stricter gun laws passed. We can't get better gun regulations passed. There are more stringent laws and regulations and rules to abide by if you own a driver's license in the state that you reside in. Far more strict in certain states is it to maintain a driver's license than it is to purchase, own, and openly carry a firearm. And the sad thing is, the majority of these mass shootings that are happening in a lot of these states that have the most lax gun laws, and every time it happens, people are up in arms for a few days, for a few weeks, until it happens again, and everyone forgets. But now this is twice. in less than 24 hours. And for all the pride of the LGBTQ community, for all the pride of black people, for all the pride that anybody, for whatever struggle they finally fought long and hard to see victory finally be attained, for all the millions of people who came out in 2008 to the inauguration of President Barack Obama, all fine. For all the women who marched for the Me Too movement, for equal pay for women, for all the people who marched for the right to get married, no matter what your sexual orientation is, for all the people who stood up and said, I have a right to bear arms, and I'm not going to let the government take my guns away from me, because if they do, then they may come for us, and we're not going to let that happen. For the same citizens of a country whose history wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for that country understanding that when the government does not stand up for you, then you declare your independence and you remove yourself from that system. And we have learned nothing from the hundreds of years of history in this country. This is on us. This blood is on our hands. Now, my proposal is that the same way we can come out and fight for the things we want to fight for is the same way we should be fighting for people who lose their lives, innocent people, for simply going to the grocery store, to a movie theater, to a concert, to a bar, to enjoy their night, to enjoy their weekend, to a food festival, and never make it back home again. Because rights and privileges are not free. They may be afforded us by the United States Constitution, but there is a cost. That cost is the responsibility that we have as citizens, that we have as so-called patriots, to stand up when wrong is being done and see that change is brought about. And no one does it. And I don't do this often on this platform, but I don't care if this reaches 5 people or 5 million. If you are watching this, and if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, you have no right to call yourself a citizen. You have no right to call yourself a patriot. You have no right to demand any of the rights that are supposed to be afforded to you by the same Constitution that you refuse to fight for and fight on behalf of, to protect the lives of your fellow citizens. You don't have that right if you disagree with what I'm saying. But if you're watching this video and you feel like what I'm saying is true, then you need to share this video. Because the same way that we can make the ratchet videos, the roasting videos, the skits, the same way we can make those things go viral, there are certain things that need to be seen worldwide, certain things that need to be seen on a global scale, not just a national scale. And then there's a time to put the phones down, to stop tweeting, to stop creating memes, to stop perpetuating the same complaints with no action. There's a time to get up and do something. There are far more of us than there are of them. By them I mean the system, the government, those faceless figureheads who run things behind the scenes, the same people in organizations like the NRA who have in their pocket all of these politicians that protect their continued ability to mass produce firearms that don't belong in the hands of citizens, but they belong in the hands of soldiers on a battlefield. And yet, countless lives continue to be lost because we do nothing. So what about a call to action? What about a petition? What about a march on Washington? What about enough people show up to Washington to demand that the government does something? Because if enough of us actually take the slogans of this country seriously, the patriotism that people want to front like they have and wave flags at ball games, sporting events, and when something terrible happens, how about people really band together and really do something before the next time it's you? And I'm speaking as a father, I'm speaking as a brother, I'm speaking as an uncle, a friend, a son, a husband. I'm speaking as someone just like you who can easily get a phone call the next time one of your loved ones goes out to enjoy themselves, to unwind and relax from a long work week. Next time, it could be you who gets that phone call from a loved one saying, there's someone shooting up this place that we're in. And that could be the last time you hear from that person. Or next time, it could be you. Just for leaving your house to go to work. Just for leaving your house to go to the grocery store. Or to go to the mall. Or to go see a movie. Or how about an amusement park? Because these mentally unstable and deranged people, they're not checking IDs. They're not checking bank statements. They're not checking voter registration cards. They're not checking to see if you're a pro-gun ownership, gun-toting NRA supporter. They're not checking to see if you're pro-immigration. They don't give a fuck, quite frankly. When these mentally deranged and unstable people decide to open fire on public events, they do so indiscriminately. Any and everyone is a target. There is no social status. There is no separation. There is no political lines. There's no red or blue, no Democrats, no Republican. It's just bullets flying. And next time, it could be you. So how about, right after you finish watching this video, how about you do something? Because it can be any one of us. And I guarantee you that some of the same people who unfortunately lost their lives were probably seeing videos like this one every time there was a mass shooting in the past few years. And you never think, next time it might be me, until it is. And then it's too late. And then there are press conferences, and then everyone's banding together, and then there's social outcry. And then a few weeks pass, and then it's on to the next story, because in this 24-hour news cycle, the machine has to keep turning. Hey, all I'm saying is, don't just want to reap the benefits of the rights that are supposed to be afforded to you and the privileges that come with living in a country freer than most. Answer the call to the responsibilities and obligations that come along with being someone who is deserving of those rights. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm my biggest fan. Be yours. Peace and love.